I am Bill Bradley. I am 6 feet 5 inches tall. I weigh 205 pounds. I have black hair and green eyes. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and I grew up in Crystal City, Missouri, a small town on the Mississippi River. I went to college at Princeton University, where I studied history, and then Oxford University, where I studied philosophy, politics, and economics. I am 25 years old. I started playing basketball when I was 9 years old, practicing, say, 3-4 hours a day, 5 days a week. In high school I played, and all through college, but when I finished the last game of my collegiate career, I thought I'd finished basketball. I had turned down a professional contract because I'd been fortunate enough to get a Rhodes Scholarship to go to school at Oxford in England, and that's what I wanted to do. I looked at it as a chance to experience a wide variety of things, and basketball I didn't feel was that important. So I went to Oxford and I studied and traveled, and for about 1.5 years I played very little basketball. But in the spring of my second year, one night I went down to the gym just to shoot some baskets. I was all alone, and I shot, and the sensation and the feeling came back to me. I was dribbling and I was shooting. The whole kind of syndrome of basketball came back to me and appealed to me. And I thought, why not try the pros? Why not try it against the best?
Hello again, everybody. This is Chick Hearn speaking from the beautiful sports arena, where tonight the Los Angeles Lakers tangle with the New York Knickerbockers. But this promises to be a different New York Knickerbocker team, because they bring to town with them one of the most heralded men ever to come into pro basketball, Bill Bradley. Bellamy against Imhoff at center. They both tap. It goes into the backcourt of New York, and Bradley's got it. Bill Bradley, front court, number 24 in his blue uniform, guarded by Jerry West. Give to Van Arsdale. He sometimes shoots that far out. Screens for Bradley's first shot, a 20-footer. Hits the heel, no good. Rebound tip for the baseline of Bradley. His second shot of the game from 18 feet won't go. Rebound is off to Hawkins. Clark coming in the left side. Give down the middle of Baylor. He's double-teamed. Give the ball to West. He loses Bradley. Dribbled Ryman, and they throw it up and miss the layup. The rebound is off to Willis Reed. He clears to Barnett. Fast break to Bradley. One-on-one against Clark. Is down the middle, shoots an 8-footer, no good. Rebound to Baylor. Baylor comes out of the back court. The defense is back. Baylor gives the ball to Clark. Stutter step, give to West. He's in traffic to the free throw line. Dribble around Bradley. Come underneath, lay it up, and misses. He was hit hard. No whistle. Rebound is off to Bradley. And Bradley comes down, gives the ball to Van Arsdale. Bellamy's around Imhoff, lays it up and misses the layup. Rebound to Bellamy, puts it up and misses again. And the rebound is to Clark. Front court to Baylor. He's around Bradley. He's underneath. He puts it in. I bet Bill Bradley will make some notes in his notebook tonight. And you got to feel sorry for any rookie that's got to come into this league and play against these great ones. Imhoff left of the key, back to the basket. Back over to West, tight against the western sideline. West to the dribble drive, beats Bradley. Come underneath, lay it up and in, and Bradley's 20 feet behind. Bradley looks like every other rookie. They all have their problems.
I felt like a little boy on a court with a lot of men. I was very nervous. In fact, I didn't even know if I could dribble the ball. Didn't know if the ball would stick to my fingers or if I'd hit it off my foot. I was certain I couldn't shoot.
Shoots over Baylor, 15-footer. 3 seconds left in the game, 138 to 1.
The first time I got into the game, everyone stood and applauded every movement I made. Every time I walked, there was applause and cheers and so forth, and the other players were all laughing. But of course, I was not laughing. It was just a total absence of confidence.
You're so well known as such a young person.
Yeah.
That here you are. They've got you there. You're kind of you're on defense and you're vulnerable. And so
one thing I told him was that some night he's going to uncork and he's going to score 46 points. And the important thing to remember is that the same basketball player who scores the 46 points is the one that scored the 2 points when he wasn't doing well.
This is one of the
This is-
problems. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't.
But the thing, I mean, you can be consistent, to be consistent.
I'm a writer, and he's the only person that I've ever written about that I've continued to know afterward. When he was 18 years old, he was a public figure. He grew up in Crystal City, where the most popular sport is basketball. And whatever else was true about Bill as a boy and his relationships with his parents and his town and the whole environmental picture, while he was still very young, 16, 17 years old, he was pronounced capable of playing professional basketball. And he was a high school All-American basketball player, and he was 5 or 10 other things. So that he was, even in high school, he was a highly lionized athlete. He thus became something like a film star, you know. And I mean, it's the nature of sport that it creates people like Bill Bradley that are famous far beyond reason, really. And he has got to live with this the rest of his life. He may become a public figure, but my point is that he already is one, and that sport made him that. He is, in some ways, a personality before becoming a person. And if he wants to go into public life eventually, he needs substance to go with the name. For example, he always said firmly that he'd be a lawyer. Well, there are certain things that he never will be, but I think he knows that. He's not a great scholar. He's a Rhodes Scholar, but he's not a great scholar. And I don't think that he wants to be a sculptor, a composer, a writer, and so on. He has his own strengths and talents, dealing with people in a kind of reforming political way. I mean, he's a politician in a very high sense. I'd be disappointed to see him not become a leader. That's where his talent is.
He's sort of a loner, kind of. I don't know what he's done, you know, other than being a scholar and basketball sort. But he also seems to have a concern about people. But he takes it so much to heart. I think that's half the reason that he's so quiet. It's not a relaxed kind of a quiet at all. And it's very depressing to him, or frustrating maybe. You know, do you ever see him chuckle? I haven't really seen him burst out laughing. If something very emotional could influence him, he might be able to let himself go for his own self. I mean, if you're going to let all these things tear at you, then you're not going to be a whole thing left to do what you can do.
The decisions that I have to make, whether I want to be a public person, whether I want to be a private person, whether I want to be a creative person, whether I want to be an efficient person, whether I want to be the kind of a person involved with other human beings in a practical aspect of getting them to work together for something or against something. I, as a human being, have a commitment to other human beings. And therefore will I have to feel that I'm helping other people. It is an endless kind of thinking process, but it doesn't help you too much in resolving your own dilemma.
Get out there, guys. Come on, Bill, back. Hold on to it, Blake. Keep going. Get out, Willie. Watch it, Jack. Come on, Bill.
It's a fantastic sensation, you know, when you work on something for hours and maybe weeks even, and nothing goes. Then on about the 10,000th time, you finally do the shot right. And you know it's right because it feels right. You feel the ball hit the floor just right on the dribble. You feel your right foot jam into the floor. You propel yourself up into the air. You see the basket. You follow through. And you hear the swish. The culmination. My progress with the team has been so-so. I don't really feel the pressure to do well. The only thing to gain is the respect of the other players. And this is one of the things I have to do yet.
It doesn't matter whether or not he plays pro ball. He's a man who is going to want to contribute in a big way to the society he lives in all his life. He's going to be nagged by a feeling of Calvinistic guilt. He lives on that. He has a powerful social conscience. He will find his happiness. All you can say, as you would to any person in his early 20s groping his way around, is you wish him well.
I've begun working for the Street Academies program in Harlem. It's a very young program, and the goal and hope is to have Harlem's potential realized. Instead of 3.8% of the students going to college, we'd like to have 65 or 70% of the college-age students in college. Most of the kids feel that college is only for the wealthy or the super genius. This is not the case, and we try to break this down. The essential component of the program is the street worker. Most important is his concern that something be done for the teenage kids in the ghetto. So what he does is he tries to reach these kids and in effect transform their lives by giving them the hope that college is possible, by giving them the confidence that is absent in so many of their lives, simply because no one's ever put his hand on the kid's shoulder and told him that he was with him all the way. Who in here doesn't think that he can go to college?
Well, I think I can go, but I don't think I could,
This is what the street worker does. He tries to bring him into the street academy, where the high school dropout, the kid on the street, is taught largely by other people who've been on the streets.
What else?
And by concerned teachers, who are concerned for the future of Harlem, yes,
About you.
but for the future of the children they teach, more importantly.
What are you proud of right now? What can you say I'm proud of? Huh? Anybody? What do you think? Come on, Calvin.
Oh, he's thinking. Give him a couple of minutes.
I'm dependent on you, man.
You don't have very many ways to get through, and you don't many times.
The market now is at the 840 level, which is...
We have 10 street academies sponsored by 10 corporations, investments of $50,000 each. By Christmas we should have 16. By next summer we should have 20. We are contacting corporation presidents. The president of IBM, of American Express, Pan American, Chase Manhattan Bank. The kids of the streets need money. They need his help, they need his influence, they need his concern, they need his involvement. There's an incredible amount of potential being wasted in Harlem. He's reading Man-Child in the Promised Land, which is the story of a guy who grew up in Harlem. And it's the story of the streets, written by a black man about black people. What do you think the guy's trying to tell you here? What do you think the author's trying to do?
Well, he's a Negro, and I guess, you know, you read about what had happened in his life and the troubles he had to live. So I guess that's why I like it.
Mm-hmm. You have those same troubles.
Yeah.
A lot of those scenes, a lot of those scenes are familiar, huh?
Yeah.
Which ones? Which couple of ones are the most familiar to you?
They had the stuff out to ride.
Uh-huh.
Because that night, while the riot was going on, he was in bed. He had a nightmare. And they heard a lot of guns and people screaming, so he thought it was an air raid. So he ran in his mother and father's room and slid in between them.
You remember this really well.
Yeah.
You remember everything you've read. You never did read a book like this before, huh?
Not like this.
What's the big difference?
Well, I guess because he's a Negro, I guess.
Yeah, I'll give you a list of more books, you know, that you can read with the same kind of story.
Oh, his story is something like this one.
Well, isn't your story?
Yeah.
Isn't everyone's story pretty much?
Yeah.
James! James, I'm second, I know. Who's second? I am.
What are you going to play for now? We've played for the championship, the world championship, and
World
pride.
championship.
Hey, what's the score?
I got 1-0. I got 2 already out.
2. I have 1, right?
Yeah. Oh, James? Mid James.
Okay. No, 2.
Okay, 2 up.
2.
For world championship. Everything. Where you go?
Championship at D.C.
You know, you can stay like that. You can say it too. Mid.
Good shot. Good shot. How many you got?
1.
Everybody's got 1? How many you have? How many you have?
Mid. I ain't got nothing. He said, Brooklyn.
Shoot it.
Hey, your name Bill Fast.
Yeah, what's yours?
Bill Fast.
Comides. A handoff to Barnett on the far side. Back outside it goes to Comides. Cross court to Reed. Fakes right on the screen for Ben Arsdale. Jump shot is no good off to the right side. And it's rebounded by San Francisco's Al Ados. Head of the foul circle. Stops and jumps. Rebound at the far corner. Taken down by Mullins. And now the Knicks decide to call for time.
Timeout, New York.
Bill Bradley and Emmett Bryant report in, replacing Comides and Barnett. And the Knicks talk things over with Red Holzman. 19,500. Sellout crowd at the new Madison Square Garden. The largest NBA crowd of all time. The largest basketball crowd in New York City. Now we're set. The Knicks go with Bradley and Bryant in the backcourt. Bradley in the forecourt on the right side. Looks to spin away from Kingman. Hands off to Bryant. Taken by Bellamy. Good hustle. Cross court. Bradley all alone for 20. Jumper in and out. But goes to Russell on the right side. Uses Bellamy's screen at the head of the foul circle. Back outside. Bradley jumps from 20 and hits. 38-34. Bradley, first field goal. 2 point. Emmett comes away with the basketball. Brings to the head of the foul circle to Bradley. One-hander. Good. Bill Bradley, 2 field goals, 4 points, both from the same spot. Bradley for a long jump shot that is good. Bradley drives left, works off the screen, jumper, good. Picked by Bradley, jumper, good. In the corner to Bradley for a jumper from 20, that is good. Bradley guarded by Wallach to Reed at the high post. Willis double team in the right corner, Bradley, one-hander, good. Back outside to Bradley for a turnaround jump. Good. He's hot. This is a big play for New York. Bradley in the corner. Back to Bellamy, and he dunks it. That's the ball game. With Bill Bradley, the scoring.
The coach said, pretty good game. What I wonder about, am I deluding myself about how much any one person can help another 50 people? I know a girl and she says I intellectualize it too much. I don't know.
Thank you.